Hi everyone, thank you for coming today. So today my team and we will be talking about how to effectively manage miscommunications, and basically this will be an interactive workshop. So once again, thank you for coming. And to start off, we will be having our very first game. So I would like to present my friend here, Sunny, to talk a little bit more about how the game is going to be done. Sunny, please.
Alright, for the first activity, we'll be doing a game called Pass It On. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that all players will have to stand one line, facing each other's back, and a word or sentence will be passed down to the first person by me. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that the first person who received the word or message will have to portray to the other person via their actions. Okay, and the last person to receive the message will have to tell me what is the answer, and if it's correct, then meaning they have a good communication, and if it's wrong, it is a miscommunication. Okay, so let's start. Right now, can we get our volunteers to be up in front so we can play the game? Okay, so we have Bas, Amira, Hidayat, and Aini. Okay, so Aini gets to face that way.
Okay.
So the first round will be a word, the second round will be sentence. Okay, so Bas, here is your word. Okay, pass it on. Alright, so what is the word, Aini?
Dancing?
Yeah!
That's right!
Okay, so we will now be doing a second round, but this one, they will need to jumble up the lines and they're gonna figure out the sentence next. Okay?
Each place.
Okay. Alright, the second round. Okay. Alright, Hidayat, here you go. Alright.
Is it extinguishing a fire?
No, it's not!
What? What is the answer?
It is fireman to the rescue!
Ah!
Alright, thank you guys.
Thank
and
you.
now I'll be passing my time to Hidayat to talk about what is communication. Okay, so can I have Hidayat please?
So, how did miscommunication come across? Well, it mainly comes from the failure to get the message across or lack of clear communication. One example would be when you leave a message for someone and it doesn't get recorded properly, that someone might have misinterpreted the message. Another example would be when discussing in a group, when one person projects his or her points wrongly. It might confuse the entire group and it can jeopardize the project. Where it can occur? Well, it can mainly occur everywhere in the office, like when you are in the discussion room or when you are having a break. Miscommunication can even occur over the smaller things, like not knowing where to eat or not knowing when is the deadline. Who can be affected by it? Well, to be honest, anyone can misunderstand someone's words or actions. From colleagues to group members, it is easy for anyone to get miscommunication if that person does not project his or her words properly. Moving on into the next slide, Aini will tell you more about when can miscommunication happens.
Hi, so I'll be talking about when does miscommunication happen. So first, I'll be talking about meetings. An example is when a company is launching a new project. The project leader or the boss sits in a table setting with the members. Some members are seated far away from the leader, hence they can't really hear what they're saying and do not know what other responsibilities are. Next will be phone calls. For example, when someone speaks too fast, they can't really get what the informations are, and so the other party might miss out some important notes. Next will be email. For example, sending an email to a colleague requesting a document, you do not receive anything and he or she uploads to a shared folder instead. However, both did their job but do not get what they wanted. Next slide. Next, I'll be talking about why does miscommunication occurs. For example, people tend to listen only to the words that are spoken than to understand the message that someone delivered. Moving on, people tend to read the surface of written words instead of seeking a deeper understanding of the meaning. Another point, there are times when people don't really listen because they think they already know what the person would say, or they're just getting busy planning their own answer. So next, I'll be passing my time to Haziq.
Hi, so today I'll be talking about how miscommunication occurs. So miscommunication usually happens when two parties are communicating and there's lack of information or too much of information, and poor choice of words and grammar are used, and lastly, because that the communication is based on assumptions. So lack of information will cause miscommunication because when one party is informing the other party about something that he himself truly knows and understands, but lack of information when telling the other party about it, it will cause the other party to interpret it wrongly. Too much information will also cause miscommunication, as when you give out too many infos, the other person can't get everything on his or her mind. Poor choice of words and grammars used, because when one party uses the wrong words and grammar, the other person could understand it differently. This is why Ms. Chong said that say what you mean and mean what you say. Lastly will be assumptions. When two parties try to communicate and base the communication on a set of assumptions, if the initial assumption is wrong, then the communication will be wrong as well. Next, I will be passing my slide to Amira.
Hi, I'll be talking about the statistics of occurrences of miscommunication in business organizations. Although most of us think that miscommunication is rare in business organizations environment, as we have a collective mindset that they hold a professional standard, human errors still exist. Therefore, according to the article titled Effective Communication in the Workplace, How and Why, written by Bartika Rashab, a marketing manager, 56% of employees have reported that they are not given clear directions or instructions by their higher-ups most of the time, and 69% of managers have reported that they are not comfortable with communicating with their employees in general. Moving on, next I'll be talking about the effect of miscommunication on business organizations. So it is confirmed that miscommunication brings negative effects to not only individuals but to companies as well. According to the article titled The Cost of Poor Communications by David Grossman, miscommunications can affect business organization greatly via the average loss per company. As you can see from the slide, 400 companies with 100,000 employees can suffer with $62.4 million per year of average loss per company, as well as smaller companies with 100 employees can be affected with $420,000 per year as their average loss per company. Moving on, I'll be passing our time to Bas.
Alright, so on my part, I'll be sharing with you guys ways to avoid miscommunication. So the first point is to provide visible information. While someone likes to write down every piece of information, the others might not be keen note takers because they need to focus what's on being said. Therefore, you might prefer to distribute printouts of the agenda of any other necessary documents before the actual meeting takes place. so your colleagues have time to review it or add their own agenda. Not to mention, they will pay more attention to you and they will be more likely to participate in a discussion. Next point, we have producing coherent documents. So for example, when it comes to writing emails, business emails can be a great source of miscommunication. Just think of all the times you received a long email that touched many topics, but it left more confused than you were before. If there is one golden rule to follow when writing a business email, it is to keep it simple, on topic, and make it as easy to read as possible by adding headings, subheadings, and bullet points. For the third point, asking questions when in doubt. Obviously, the best way to avoid miscommunication is by asking relevant questions. It makes the concept clear and it helps you in gaining a better understanding. Do not interrupt someone when he is speaking. Let him complete the sentence and then put forward your query. So which also brings me to my last point, which is taking notes. So take notes and write down the key points so that you can ask any related questions easily. Check your facts and think about the issues that needs to be addressed. And also, it's important that you jot down any information which you think can be crucial. For example, dates. It comes to timings of events, and as well as other information that you think can be crucial. Alright, so we actually have a second game for you guys, and I will be inviting Sunny to explain about the second game. So Sunny, please.
So, welcome to the second activity, okay? So, the activity is called Listen and Draw, okay? So, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna be two person, okay? They're just gonna sit back to back, and the person A will have to describe the object that will be given to them, while the person B is gonna draw what the description that is being mentioned by the person A. Okay, so the person A can only give maximum of 5 descriptions, and with that descriptions, the person B will have to draw it out. Okay, so can I have my person A and person B, please? Object number 1.
Okay, so it's small, it's oval, it can click, and there's a roller in between on top.
I think I might know what's this one.
And it has a red light. Are you ready?
Okay, Buzzley, are you ready?
Yep, I know what the object is.
Okay, what's the object?
It's a mouse!
Correct!
Thank you.
Alright, now for the second round, can I have the next pair of person A and person B, please? So we have Aini and Hidayat. Okay, so take a seat. Object number 2.
Okay. It's an item
Yeah, obviously.
that can put something in it, and inside the item you can put an object. It's thin.
Any more?
It's invincible. Invisible is clear.
Okay.
Can put multiple things in it.
Okay, Yat, so what is your answer, Yat?
It's a pen holder.
Wrong! It's a card holder.
Right. So thank you volunteers for playing the game. Okay. So there is example where the couple number 1, they are good with the communication, hence the answer is correct. And couple 2, there was a miscommunication as there is thin and another person thought is thick. Okay, hence that is why miscommunication occurs. Okay, so now I'll pass my time to Bas to talk about the conclusion. Bas, please.
Alright, so the previous game actually very much shows, like Sarni said, how miscommunication can happen when there's a minimal understanding within two parties. So to conclude this workshop, miscommunications can actually be easily avoided if you take certain ways to ensure that minimum miscommunications can happen, especially when it comes to within a business context. Practice good communication skills, whether it's your language, whether it's your grammar, whether it's putting out the right message, the right details. Those aspects can be contributed to when a very good communication. So the last point that we have and we want to really emphasize is to observe and listen more. There's a saying that you have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. So hear and look more than you talk. So it's good because you're supposed to be receiving information through your eyes, through listening, and before you would like to get something across, it's crucial that you receive information and evaluate them before saying something else. Alright, so that is all that we have for you guys today. So can I please get my team to come on board? 1, 2, 3. Thank you!